Those outside, may I request them to come in? We'll be starting the meeting in a couple of minutes.
You may sit down with your cup of coffee.
Yeah, you can sit down with your coffee, yes. Kindly keep your telephones in silent mode because we'll be going on Facebook Live. A warm welcome to the Foreign Correspondents Club of South Asia. Friends, warm welcome to you, Excellency, and lady from Peru, and welcome to you. And friends, a couple of months ago when we were planning the Christmas Latino-style party, Munish and I went and had a long chat with His Excellency, the Ambassador of Ecuador, and then we realized that Latin America has great expectations from India, and they are at a very critical stage of development, and they would like India to do a lot to help Latin America develop. They have more than 40 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean, and their GDP, collective GDP is something like $6 trillion. Per capita income is $8,000. But the bilateral trade between the two countries is barely $40 billion. And experts say that it should be possible to take it up to $100 billion by the year 2025. And what is it that we as a country can do for the 600 million people who live in more than 40 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean? To tell us about the expectations of his region, we have with us His Excellency Mr. HECTOR CUEVA JACOME. I don't know if I got this pronunciation right. Yeah, thank you. We welcome you to our club for the third time in the past couple of months, Excellency. So kindly go ahead and make your presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Narayan, Munish. Yes, that's my third time here in the club. And I want to thank you because we want to talk about so many plans, projects, dreams, maybe utopics, challenges. My lecture is how India can help to develop Latin American countries. I am already here from the last 7 years. I was before 5 years a Consul General in Mumbai. And I'm already here almost 2 years here as ambassador here in Delhi. So I think all day, because all day India is a guest, you cannot learn everything about India because India is so vibrant, is so elastic, is India, is Bharat. And but when I came here in 2013, I got a very nice advice from Mr. Shroff. Mr. Shroff is the CEO of United Phosphorus. He's very well known, I think, in India and especially in Mumbai. And he is the consul, honorary consul of Mexico in Mumbai. So I visited. You can imagine at this time my hair was totally black, 15 kgs less, and so. I think Mr. Shroff, maybe he thought, who is this guy? He's a young kid who is a consul general, and he adopted me. You know, he was really nice with me, and I visited many times. And he said something that is really nice, and he gave me this advice. Okay, he said, do you want to make a business, real businesses with India? Do you want to increase and improve the diplomatic ties with India? You need to pay respect to India. So pay respect how? Paying respect, researching, studying, reading, learning about India. And he said, okay, you need to know about a few things, but you need to become as a specialist. You need to know about food. You need to eat like an Indian with the hands. You need to know that you have many different food from the south, from the north, from the south. My favorite food is samosas and dosas, right? And I was a few weeks ago in Shillong, and I tried one of the best dosas in my life. So it's a little bit crazy because in the north the best dosas in my life. So I used to go to eat with my friends to the Indian restaurants. I like this pokara in ITC. I love pokara. And I used to normally eat with my Indian friends with the hands because this is the way how you have to eat. The second thing is that you need to know about cricket. Yeah, cricket. Yeah, national sport of India is not cricket; it's hockey. But anyway, cricket is a real sport. The religion is like a religion. The third thing is, you need to know about religion. You need to face and you need to interact with the Indians in the different way. If he's Hindu, he's Muslim, he's Christian, he's Jain, he's Sikhs, right? So you need to pay respect, knowing about the religion of every person. The fourth thing is history, especially the history after the partition. The fifth thing is geography. He said, you have to travel around India. So I visited already more than 55 cities here in India. 2 weeks ago I was in Shillong. Then in the Christmas time I went to Kerala. Next week I'm going to Chandigarh. So I try to leave every 2 weeks to somewhere here in India. When I was posted in Mumbai, I used to take the train that is the night train. I used to take the train at 11 p.m. and I used to wake up at Goa. So it's really nice, It's like every 2 weekends I try to go to Goa. So, and the most important thing that you need to know, Hector, he told me, you need to know about Bollywood, okay? Because this is the way how you need to connect with the people. So with my wife, we used to go to watch movies, Bollywood movies, not Hollywood movies, around 2 or 3 times per month. The last movie that I saw, Good News, Akshay Kumar, yeah, this is my favorite actor. I saw almost all the movies, Padman, Toilet, Good News, what is the movie of the sixth hero? Kesari. So this is the real thing. So this is our homework. Go to see Bollywood movies. So this is the way how we can interact. Because now, I'm feeling like I am Ecuadorian, but I'm also half Indian now. I used to use Nehru jackets. I don't like to use now suits and tie because, especially in Mumbai, because it was all the time was very hot. Now it's good to wear here a suit and tie because it's cold. But especially, and when I was in Mumbai, I was a little bit informal guy. My wife said, because the people in Mumbai are informal. So my wife said to me, okay, you are the consul general. You don't have to wear like this. You need to wear more elegant. But, I don't like suits. I don't like ties. Okay, so you need to wear Nehru jackets. Since then, I am wearing Nehru jackets. I have more than 20 Nehru jackets. And I like because it's really, really comfortable to wear the NATO jackets. So after 7 years living here in India, I think we, with my wife, we developed some knowledge, wisdom, and about India. And after these 7 years, I can assure you that India can have many solutions for our problems. You know, when I was seeing that movie, Padman, with Akshay Kumar, and he was in front of the United Nations Assembly, he said, you know, India is, we have a lot of problems. We have a lot of challenges, but at the same time, we have a lot of solutions, and we have a lot of opportunities. These words are real, are completely real. And we will talk about this lately. You know, normally in Latin America, we used to think that the technology needs to come from developed countries, from Japan, from US, from Korea, from Europe, also from China. But in our radar is never India, especially because India, we don't know too much about India, you know, especially the Discovery Channel, National Geographic. They present only these documentaries about the sadhus, Ganga River, the Taj Mahal, and we receive only the bad news about India. In the mind of the people is still there the rape of this girl 8 years ago. Say, you know, I don't want to go there because, okay, you know, it's not like this. It's not like this. So this opportunity to share these experiences and knowledge, I think is a great, because you, India, here in India, you can present a lot of solutions to the present problems that we are facing in Ecuador, in Latin America. Why? Because we are very similar. Yeah. Normally the people used to think, no, you know, Ecuador is too far. Yeah, it's too far, but you can take a flight. You are not going by boat. Yeah. The second thing. The second thing is the language. The language, yes, we speak Spanish, but at the same time, you know, the diplomats, the businessmen, they speak good English, right? So it's not a problem, the language. The third thing is the culture. You know, normally I used to present this example, and you can see few things. You know, we are in a table. In this table, we are 12 guests. And one guest is from Russia, the other guest is from US, maybe from Minneapolis, the other guest is an Australian guy, the other guy, two more from China, from Japan, and you have some Europeans, and you have 2 Indians and 2 Latinos, no? And you start to see all around the table, say, no, the Russian is not similar to me. Also, you know, the Africans, maybe. The Chinese, neither. So you see the Latins, oh, you see, he looks like my cousin. Right? Because I look Ecuadorian, but you look Latinos. Because the biotype is the same. Tomorrow I have an exhibition in the IIC, no? IIC, yes. Because I'm presenting one of the best painters of Latin America in the world, Guayasamín. And he said, you know, I am Indian. He said, I am Indian, because the indigenous people in our countries, we name the indigenous people Indians. So you can see that we are more similar than other culture, than other race, because we look the same. We have the same values. We have our biggest treasure is the family, like you, right? Our biggest treasure is the friends, like you. So, and one thing that's very important is, always is very important, the grandparents. So you keep this tradition of respect to our parents, to our grandparents. So you can say we're similar to you. If you compare with other people, maybe they can be similar, but I can tell you that Latin Americans, Ecuadorians, and Indians are totally 100% similar. Okay? So we are talking about technology. Technology, normally, I said before, is we used to think that the technology needs to come only from these developed countries. But you know, sometimes that technology is not adaptable, is not adoptable, is not accessible, is not affordable, and it's not acceptable. Because the reality is totally different. You know, the weather is totally different. We are a tropical country like you. We have also hills like you. We have jungles like you. We have sea like you. So we are totally 100% similars. So of course, what is the big difference? I used to think that India is our big brother or big sister. Why? Because you have a history around 4,000 years, right? You are a big country, you are a superpower now. But the most important thing is that you have developed a technology that is 100% adaptable by our countries, right? So we need the transfer of this technology to our countries. We need to find out how to transfer the technology because, you know, here in India, you have all the solutions. Maybe you don't see every day and all the places, you don't see these solutions because India is a huge country, is a new country, is 70 years old. So you're facing some problems, but the solutions are there. The problem is that the solutions are not on the table. The solutions are not like the people used to think, okay, I'm going to Delhi, I'm going to Mumbai, I'm going to Bangalore, I'm going to find the solutions there. It's not like this. Because all the solutions are in all India. You know, the best agriculture company for tropical crops is here in India. But it's not here in Delhi, it's not in Mumbai, it's not in Hyderabad, it's in Jalgaon, in Maharashtra. To reach Jalgaon, you have two options. One is you take the train, 15 hours by train, you know, or you can go and you can reach Aurangabad. Now the road is under construction, so you need to go to Aurangabad, and then you have to take a trip for around 7 to 8 hours. But if you want to see what is happening with the best technology for agriculture and tropical crops, you need to go to Jalgaon. You need to sacrifice, you need to travel, you need to take the train, you need to go to Aurangabad, and maybe you need to take the car to go to Aurangabad. You know, also the pharmaceuticals, they are all spread for all over India, so you need to travel here. So the people used to think that is in the developed countries that you're going to find in a comfortable way these solutions. So that is so important because I have two of my interns here, you know, because we need to collect. Sometimes I feel like a Marco Polo. You know, with this guy went to China from Italy, he started to see all the good technology from China. And all this technology bring it to Europe. I'm doing the same thing. We have to do the same thing. We need to collect the best of the best of India and take this to Latin America and Ecuador. I want to talk about three, because if I talk about all the opportunities that we can have here in India, it will take around 2 or 3 hours. So I want to focus in 3 areas. One is healthcare, second is agriculture, and the third one is education. Let's talk about healthcare. There is one slogan that's very common about India, and they say, okay, India is the hospital, the pharmacy, and laboratory of the world. And they are right. Right? And there is one other thing because you have the curative medicines, but also you have the preventive medicines, that is Ayurveda and yoga. I use only Ayurveda. In 2013, I had some problems with my stomach. The doctors detected, and the lab test detected Helicobacter pylori. So, I had two options. Go with antibiotics. In this case, the antibiotics are going to kill the good and bad bacteria in my stomach. Or I got a very good doctor, Dr. Darshan in Mumbai. He said, we can cure that, but it will take time. And this you need to keep always for the rest of your life. So what is the formula for that? Okay, you have to drink before breakfast coconut water. So, oh my gosh, coconut water. How is it going to solve my problem? Because, with the coconut water, you are going to keep your pH of the stomach 7. Okay? Then you can take a light breakfast, and then we are going to use a medicine, which the base is neem. Okay, so I take the coconut water, I take the neem every day, so now I don't have any more problem. It's solved. It looks like some unreal thing, but it works. It works for my niece, that she had many problems with urinary tract infections. So they try antibiotics. And then I said to my sister, okay, you have to try nanocarcumine and amalaki. And now it's okay. So preventive is there. Now we go to curative. I had a very good friend of mine that he is in Colombia. And this friend of mine called me once in 2014 or 2015. And he told me, I have some problems with, I got hepatitis C. But the problem is that the treatment of hepatitis C in Colombia, it costs more than 60 or 70,000 US dollars. So, I don't have that money. So please, you have to save me. So I went to visit a doctor, and the doctor said, okay, the best way for your friend is that your friend come here to India. He got an appointment with me. He got the lab test, the analysis and the diagnosis is going to be there, hepatitis C. I give a prescription. And after this prescription, your friend can come to the pharmacy and he can buy the medicines and he can come back to Colombia. And I asked my friend, okay, this is the plan. I say, no, man. This is not the plan. Because I'm really, really bad. I'm waiting for a liver transplant. So it's very difficult that I travel more than 30 hours to India, and the jet lag, the stress of everything. So this is not an option to go there. So please send me that medicine. After all, I talked with the embassy. We sent that medicine. The cost of the medicine was here $3,500, almost 20 times less. And now this guy is totally 100% healed. There is no traces of the virus in the blood, so the virus is there because the hepatitis C is a virus, but it's not detectable. So this is the thing. If we talk about pulmonary fibrosis, the treatment in Ecuador is around $1,200 US, when the treatment here in India is $90. We are talking about prostatic cancer. The treatment in Ecuador is $4,500. The treatment here in India is $800. So this is the history of all the diseases not only in Ecuador, is in all Latin America. So I used to the other day I was with Madame Vijay Thakur Singh, the Secretary East of the MEA, and we were discussing about this. And she said, no, we have to film a documentary. I said, yes, we have to film a documentary. And the second thing is that we were talking with Madame the cool thing is that these are the real ambassadors of India in the world. One of them, medicines. So you see, you have solutions for to save lives. And it's not like utopias, it's not like crazy dreams, it's the reality. Because you have developed here in India a strategical industry for to save lives in the world. This is healthcare. Healthcare you have in medicine, in telepathology, you have pathology, you have radiology, you have everything. So you have everything. Here in the healthcare, you have everything. So this is my experience with the healthcare. What about agriculture? You know, I spent around 1 year studying the system of agriculture in Israel. And I stayed in a kibbutz in 2001. And I studied a lot about agriculture. And my father, my family, we had a business because now we don't have any more agriculture business. So I'm really related with this business. So when I came here, I made a research about the productivity and the increase of the productivity from the last 10 or 15 years. And I realized that the productivity in many states here in India in 10 years, you increase 100% with the same resources. So I stay making more research. I went to Madhya Pradesh, I went to Indore, Bhopal, I went to Rajasthan, I went to Kashmir to visit how the people are growing rice at 2,000 high. It sounds crazy because, rice is a tropical crop. But here in India, you are producing rice in Kashmir. So that's crazy. So I made a lot more research. And after all this research, I realized that who is behind this miracle. At the beginning, I thought that here in India, you are using GMO, genetic modified seeds. But you are not using that, only cotton. But the rest say, okay, so what is happening? No, it's not genetic modified seeds. So you are doing a very good job, really good job. So I start to visit many companies in all around India. I went to visit the giant irrigation system in the Jalgaon region. It's the highest rate per hectare in all over the world, and they have the highest productivity in all over the world per square hectare. They are producing here in India, in Jalgaon, especially in Jalgaon, they are producing around 2 times more per hectare production in Jalgaon. So you are doing a very good job, almost using the same variety. So the varietal thing is not there, is not an issue. So what are you doing? Okay, you are providing technology to the farmers, right? So I asked one farmer there that he owns around 8 hectares of banana there. And I asked him, okay, what happened with the irrigation system, the drops irrigation system, this technology? And he said, yes, it's not cheap, but it's not expensive. But after using these 3 years, using this technology, I already pay the system. How? Because the productivity increased. Second, the diseases and the plagues goes down. So this is the thing, and they are producing banana during the summertime at 52 degrees in Jalgaon. So something you are doing well. Other company that I visited is Organica. Is one of the companies that is behind this organic production in Sikkim. Is one of the few states in the world that they are producing organic food. And I visited Sikkim many years ago, but I was in Shillong 3 weeks ago. And all these states, the northeast states, they are going to this way. And I think, this is the best way. I tell you why. When I visited, because my father, we have a gene that we have to take care of the prostatic cancer. It's a genetic problem. My father, my uncle, my grandfather, they all have prostatic cancer. And they are okay. And one of the problems, when I came here and I visited a doctor, Ayurvedic doctor, he said, because my father, after this problem, he said, no, I don't want to eat any more meat. No more red meat, no pork, nothing. So, I like sometimes meat. So once I went to visit this guy, the doctor, this Ayurvedic doctor, I went to visit, I said, doctor, please, I like meat. Is it a problem to eat meat? He said, no, it's not a problem. The problem is how is produced that meat. They are using antibiotics, they are using vitamins, so they are not doing a good job with that thing. And the same thing is happening with what? With the vegetables, right? We are using a lot of pests. We are using a lot of chemicals. So this is so important because here in India you are producing organic food, you are producing organic products, and also you are producing aeroponic agriculture. What is aeroponic? When I saw that, it was like to be in Disneyland. I went to visit a farm, aeroponic farm, and I see the towers, 3-4 meters towers, with full of broccoli, full of celery, full of lettuce. Say, my gosh, what is this? This is a future. I'm living the future in the present. These towers producing, normally you have to produce 4 to 5 lettuce in 1 square meter. But with this tower, with this technology, you are producing 40, 50 lettuce in the same area, using 90% less of the products that you need to produce that. So it's 90% less water, 90% less fertilizer, and in 1 square, it's not 1 square meter, it's 2 square meters, and they go up. So that's crazy. And so you have solutions also for agriculture. And it's good also, why? Because if we can produce organic products, our biggest market for our products is US, is Europe, is Japan, And these countries, that more and more time, they are asking more certificates, organic certificates, and free of chemicals free of chemicals. So we are going to help also to promote the exports of our products, organic products. And the third point that I want to mention is education. I think in our countries, in Peru, in Ecuador, the education is not so bad. I think it's good. But we face a huge problem, and from a personal point of view, is one of the biggest problems that we are facing in my country and in Latin America, is the lack of English. No more than 5% of the total population in at my country, in Latin America, the people can speak fluent English. And there are some other few countries like Mexico, Argentina, they speak a little bit more. But normally in Ecuador is a huge problem. Now in this globalized world, lack of English, it makes you an illiterate person. It's like this, right? All the education, all the last research, all the last technology is in English. So if you don't speak English, you have to translate it. But translate it takes time, take effort, and take money. So we have a gap around 5 to 10 years of that, because we don't, maybe we have a very good engineers, very good architects, we have a very good professionals, but what happened with the problem of English? You know, the doctors in Ecuador, the MD doctors, medical doctors, no more than 10 or 15% they speak English. So, of course, you know, we can receive US Americans patients, but how the doctor is going to communicate with the patients? So we are losing a huge opportunity on that field. So education, you know, normally sometimes the people in my country used to say, but you know, because I am promoting, okay, let's do something, let's bring some English schools, Indian teachers to Latin America, to Ecuador. But the people used to say in my country, they say, okay, but you know, Indian accent is not so easy to understand. Yeah, you know, but now I have Indian accent, you know. Now the people, my niece, she used to joke all the time and say, oh, you speak like Indian, you know. It's okay, 7 years here, I have an Indian accent now. And, but you know, I used to say to the people, yes, we are going to have Indian accent, but what is the problem? 40% of the engineers of NASA are Indians. The CEOs of the IT companies in US are Indians. The best doctors of in US and UK are Indians. And they are not changing the accent. They speak like English, like Indians, you know. So the thing is that we need to bring this technology, this knowledge, this language with Indians. Because you have the biggest number of teachers of English teachers in the world. This is reality. You have 1.4 billion 4 billion people, and I think you can have, let's see, 1 million of very good, excellent teachers here in India. So we don't need 1 million teachers. We need 1,000 teachers. And we are going to solve one of the biggest education problems that we are facing in my country. So this is one of the things, this is the third industry or field that I wanted to talk. You have many other topics that we can talk. Infrastructure, IT. You know, IT is a super industry here in India. Solar power. So we have many, many fields that we can start to talk, and maybe we are not going to finalize in the next maybe 2 or 3 hours. So one of my goal for this year is to write a book about this, right? Because we want to help all the Latin American ambassadors. We want to help all the people. Because some people, after 7 years, I think I know something about the reality and what India can do for my country. So let's do this. Maybe we can do it together, right? Write this book and they can read, oh yes, that's right. This data is real. We can do that. We can help to develop not only Ecuador, all Latin American countries. So, I'm sorry, I want to drink some water. We are mentioning 3 areas. One is healthcare, right? If we can heal our people, we are doing a good job. The government is going to do a very good job. We are talking about agriculture. If we feed properly our people, they are going to be healed, means they are going to be okay, right? And we are going to produce good products to export. So if you feed well your people and you export good products abroad, the government is doing a good job also. And the third thing is that if you educate the young people with English, I think the government is going to do a good job. Health, education, and food. 3 things. Maybe no more, because if we start to solar power, this is no, 3 things. 3 things that they are going to change a country and a region. Yeah. That's why we need to build up bridges. We need to define and we need to find a way how to transfer this technology, the experiences, the wisdom, the knowledge to Ecuador and Latin America, to developing countries. Yeah, I like to use always these Akshay Kumar words that India faces many problems, but at the same time, you are facing a lot of opportunities. And it's not only this area. Now you have a Nobel Prize, Economy Nobel Prize, and I'm reading one of this book, and he says, like Amartya Sen, that the economists, they made only the analysis for developed countries. What happened with our developing countries? Sometimes, you have the lines of the offer and the demand. Okay, the price is fixed because of these 2 very strong laws. But what is happening when some needs are not provided, like medicines, right? So these 2 greatest economists, they are saying, okay, we need to create a new economy, right? We need to create new challenges, new opportunities. Ecuador and many of the Latin American countries, we have 2 economical activities. One, we are extractivists. We produce oil, and we produce minerals. And we are agriculture also. We produce the best bananas in the world. We produce the best flowers in the world, the best prawn in the world, the best cocoa in the world. Maybe maybe Mercedes from Peru is watching me like this. Okay. So we produce very good products. But I used to, I read a lot about India. And I want to mention 2 examples. Let's talk about Tata and Mahindra. There is one analysis that this Tata, you can remember, you know more than me about Tata. You remember about Tata 30 years ago. Which was the highest income for Tata this time? Steel, cars, industry, right? And Mahindra, the same example, cars. But what is happening now in the present with this company? They change from the industrial products to the service products, software products. And now 70% for both companies, the principal resource and income comes from technology, from software. So normally, the economists, they used to say that you are an extractivist country, you are a agriculture country, you have to follow the line. And the line is, okay, now it comes the industrialization, right? You have to industrialize your products, but industrialization is extremely expensive. It's expensive in time, expensive in money, is in efforts, in sacrifice. It takes too much time. So what happened with India during the last 30 years? What is the principal source of the economy in this country? Services, right? So we need to jump we need to make a bypass. Okay, we have at the present extractivist and agriculture economy. We need to industrialize as we can, but we need to jump to the services, right? This is the real economy. But in the services, we need to define which service. And this comes the proposal. Is the healthcare, is agriculture, is education from India. You know, in Abu Dhabi, they are developing a city that's very famous with the best technology in all over the world. Masdar, I think, is the city, right? They produce the best of the best technology, but this, you know, is fantastic. It's incredible. But the technology is extremely expensive. Who can afford that? Only Abu Dhabi. I think Ecuador or Peru, they cannot afford that because it's extremely expensive. Okay? So we need to copy something similar. You know, I made a lot of research about the city-states. I made a lot of research about Singapore, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Hong Kong, Macau, you know. And all these cities, they have only one industry: services, tourism. You know, I like Dubai. Yes, I like to go to Dubai. I don't know, every 6 months because I like to go there. You know, it's okay. But you know, the real answer of Abu Dhabi or Dubai is the malls. You know, and also in Singapore, you have a few things to see, but at the end, it's different. But in our countries, we can offer many things. We can offer flora, fauna. We can offer history. We can offer many things, like India can offer to the tourists, a real thing. But you know, in the tourism, we need to define something because the tourism is there. But you know, we need to define and we need to create a model of tourism. And India has a very booming industry, is the medical tourism. Okay, you have $8 billion per year, 8,800,000 people who comes only for medical purposes. So you have this industry that you are developing, and according to for some specialists, this in the next 10 years, this is an industry that they can reach $20 billion, right? Maybe it's true. But according to the statistics, most of the patients that you have here in India are from former Soviet countries, you know, Southeast Asian countries, Middle East, you know, all the Afghanistan, Kazakhstan, all these countries. So this is the patients that they are coming. But you know, we have a great opportunity at the other side of the world. I told you about the cost of the medicines in Ecuador, in Chile, in Peru, in Colombia, that are extremely expensive. And I used to use this example with my friend of Colombia that, you know, because he was desperate. And after all, I sent the medicines to him. He's healed now. But I asked him, okay, what should happen if you have the opportunity to go to some country like Ecuador to receive all the attention, medicines, lab tests, X-rays, everything like in India? He said, I will go. Because from Ecuador to Chile is only 3 hours. From Colombia is Chile, Ecuador, Colombia is 1 hour. Chile, Peru, Ecuador is 2 hours and a half. Chile, 3 hours and a half. Mexico, 3 hours and a half. So everything is there. It's very close. And the people in Latin America, they need affordable and excellent medicines to be healed. But this is a market. But what happened with US? You know, Obamacare, you know about Obamacare. Obamacare is the health care for the people that cannot afford a private insurance. But Obamacare, according to some specialists, is not sustainable in the time. And the Republicans, they try to cut and they try to cancel Obamacare. And the last time I think it was 1 year and a half ago, if you can make a research, Trump is gonna cancel Obamacare. And everything was done, but it was very in the Congress. Yeah, it was in the Congress. The Republicans, they have a 51 votes, and the Democrats, they have 49, you know? But you know, this John McCain, this veteran of the War of Vietnam, he was the candidate for president with Obama. He was affected at this time with the brain, with the cancer, in the brain cancer, you know? And the Democrats, they talked with John McCain, and they convinced him to keep Obamacare. Obamacare now is there, now in U.S., but according to the specialists, the healthcare in U.S. is extremely expensive. You know, 40% of the total generic medicines in U.S. are from India, right? So this is a palliative for the Obamacare, but it's not enough. Now, some specialists, they said also that Obamacare in the future, you know, in the future, I don't know when, but it's gonna disappear because it's not possible to sustain that. So what's gonna happen with 50 or 60 million people that they have Obamacare? Some medical tourism industry here in India, they said, we are going to catch these people, these 40, 50 million people. You know, I think it's not so easy like this. Because one person who is living in Minnesota, okay, for the person who live in New York, it's easy. You take the flight to Delhi, 13 hours is okay. But what happened with the people who live in Idaho, in Minneapolis, let's talk in San Francisco, you know, they have to cross all over the world. We're talking about 30, 40 hours, you know. So the people, they think, okay, I'm not prepared to do this journey. So what is the option? To create survival tourism, a healthcare city in Latin America. Why? Because of the distance. We are going to find affordable medicines, good doctors. So everything is going to be created in Ecuador, in Latin America. It's going to be a boom industry, and we can do this together. India, Ecuador, India, Latin America. Thank you so much.
Wonderful exposition about what India can do for Latin American countries. We will now have questions. Those of you who want to ask questions, kindly raise your hand. Wait for a microphone to come. Identify yourself and ask the question. Thank you.
Hello, sir. I'm Ayush Garg. I'm from the media in Delhi. Thank you for the spectacular presentation, I would say, and the love you share for India. So I have 3 questions, and I'll try to make it quick. The first one would be, we have recently seen that there's been an outreach by the Indian government across the world, and Indian diplomacy has become proactive. So can you talk about how Indian diplomacy is reaching out to Latin American countries, and particularly Ecuador in the recent years? And in the reverse of this would be, are there some areas in which we need to improve our outreach to Latin America, some particular fields that you're missing out on? The second question, sir, would be,
I answer first one, okay? I think MEA is doing great with Latin America. I think for both regions, India and Latin America, India and Ecuador, it took time to open the eyes, right? But I think we are doing a good job. We have a very good ambassadors here in India, very proactive. They want to learn about India. They want to. So we are. I think we are creating a new links with India. I think my only suggestion is, you know, we have the offer from the MEA, and we need to open more Indian embassies in Latin America, especially Ecuador, my country. Yeah.
Yeah. So the second question is that you talked extensively on medical tourism, on education, technology, and there's enormous scope of partnership between India, Ecuador, and the Latin American countries. But generally, what we see in India is that Brazil, being part of the BRICS, takes a lot of attention in that sector of the world, for at least for the Indian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and little attention is left to the other countries, even though there's huge potential that is there. So are there any concrete steps that you see that are happening from our side or your side? Are there
Okay.
agreements or partnerships in the works for any of these fields?
Yeah. You know, I have many friends, company CEO, and I used to say, okay, why don't you go to Latin America? I say, no, we have an office in Brazil. Okay, you know, Brazil is a continent. So you cannot say that you are opening, you have an office in Brazil that they are going to attend all, not attend. They're going to keep all Latin American countries because Brazil is a continent. So the first thing that you here in India we need to define is that Brazil is Brazil, is part of Latin America, but Brazil is a huge, right? It's a huge country. And the rest of Latin American countries, we need your attention also, from the companies especially, right? And I think this is the time to be here in India. This is the time. Because before we started to make some work to improve the relationship between India and Latin America, and we have a fantastic future for both regions. I think this kind of events or lectures can help us to know what is happening at the other side of the world, and we need to define what is the path and what is the road, or what is the flyover that we need to create. This is the thing. We need to start to create. And the good thing, you know, is sometimes I'm very happy to be here because sometimes I help a lot of people, but I'm not helping these people only in the simple way. I'm helping these people saving his life. So, you know, this is, if you can imagine what is the potential that India can do, it's fantastic. Not only simple life, not only one life, million of lives. So we need to start to create better links. We need to start to talk. We need to create links, and this is one of the best ways. Yeah.
Yeah, and the last question is closer to a bit to home. We recently heard about the oil spill off the coast of Ecuador, and you know the sort of damage that has been done.
It was in Galapagos, no?
Yeah, Galapagos.
Yeah, it's controlled already.
It's controlled. So,
It's controlled.
are you seeing is Ecuador looking at extensive damage to marine life or long-term ramifications, or is it?
No, it's controlled already.
Controlled?
And you have to remember also, yeah, it's controlled. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. Please take the mic.
Hi, I'm Sushma. I know him quite well. I've been attending all his events. So this was very eye-opening for us. So do you only want to work with companies or an individual who is having exposure to all the things that you said?
We can work together, no? Companies, individuals, you know, it's like if, you know, I tell you one history about me. Since I was in Mumbai, I used to have a program of interns since Mumbai. So when these guys, these young people come to me, come to my office, come to the consulate, come to the embassy, they don't know nothing about Ecuador. They don't know where it's located, what are the problems, you know? And I attract these young people because this is the way how I want to spread the message of Ecuador, my country. In this program, I already had 30 young people. Most of them, they are in good jobs. They are in scholarships. They are working in Spain. They are working in Italy. because they open the eyes. I have two, Gary and Udayan, they come with me today.
Raise your hands, please.
Yeah, and they are working with me for the last 4 months. And the good thing is they say, okay, I want to learn more. Give me more work, because they want to learn. And they are learning in the good way. They are learning about diplomacy. They are learning about economy. They are learning how to create a cultural program, a commercial program. So they are practicing Spanish. So they are practicing many things. So we are not only working with companies. We are working with people. I am volunteering Special Olympics Barat. So we are working with normal people with problems, with young people, with old people, with journalists, with companies. We are open to work with anyone.
Yeah, you have a question?
You have to ask
In
your question in
last question in Spanish. ¿Qué beneficio para la India podría significar esta relación económica comercial con América Latina y el Caribe, sobre todo en estos momentos en que el mundo vive una gran crisis económica?
Okay, I'm gonna translate here. So, especially he's talking about the comercial más que nada, ¿no?
Trade and commerce.
Trade and commerce. Okay, how we can improve the trade and commerce between Ecuador and India and Latin America, and it's Ecuador is we signed the protocols to start the negotiation of the TPA, that is a trade partial agreement. I like to use the mangoes example. You have the best mangoes in the world, Alfonso. And we don't produce Alfonso. But anyway, I think mango is the queen and the king of the fruits here in India. So your production is from
Ratnagiri.
no, yes, I know, but from when to when?
Oh,
4 months, basically 4 months.
4 months, right? But these 4 months, you produce these months here in India, the mango. We don't produce mango at this time. So one of the things we can become complementary, means like we can complete the circle. The people used to say, I cannot imagine to offer mango during the wedding times. It should be fantastic, because we are producing mango at this time. We are producing mango in the wedding season, right? And we have many other products that we can complete the circle, right? Because it's a win-win situation, right? You have the medicines, we have the market. You have some products, we have a trade agreement with Europe and USA. So we need to start, we don't need to see the trade and the commerce only in services and products. Once a company car come to me and they say, you have to help me to promote my cars in your region. This is a job that your representative in Ecuador needs to do. Because in Ecuador, in Latin America, we don't need services, we don't need products, we need solutions. This is the thing, solutions. And this is why we are creating a new economy, a new trade, a new vision of the trade and commerce. Luego te traduzco, Dr. Alfredo.
Okay. My name is Sagar Aluwalia. I'm a journalist. And my question is, you talk about medicine, you talk about teachers, you talk about education. You didn't talk anything people-to-people program because there's not much information about Ecuador in India. And similarly, I'm sure it must be in Ecuador also they don't have much information about India. Are you working any program to bring the people together? One thing. Second question is that you talk about tourism, medical tourism. I'm not talking medical tourism. I'm talking luxury tourism. And in that field, because tourism bring, people together. So if you start promoting Ecuador from India, in India, a lot of Indians are traveling to America, other places. I'm sure they love to go to your country, but they don't know anything about Ecuador.
Yes.
Why don't you open your tourism, awakening in this country also?
Yeah, thank you so much. Now, I think, especially India, I think you need to develop the documentaries, that you need to show in Latin America what is the real India. It's 3 months ago I went to Chennai, and there is the biggest company in Chennai, a pharmaceutical company. I visited this company, and they have many units in Tamil Nadu. And when the people when I realized, enter to this industry, I felt like I am in Switzerland, because the standard of the quality, the standard of the cleanness, standard of everything is 100%, not 99%. It's 100%. This company is FDA certificated. But I know, because I visited that. But who knows, who can know about this in Latin America? Nobody. Because the people are more interested to show Taj Mahal, Ganga River. But what happens if we go and visit it and we make a documentary about the pharmaceutical companies? That you have fantastic pharmaceutical companies. There is one very, I don't know, it was in 2013 when I see this documentary, is Far in the Blood. And they mention about how India saved lives in Africa with AIDS. At this time, the companies, the multinational companies, they try to charge the African patients $50,000 per patient. Africa, they don't have this money. So the people, they are dying for millions. So when I see that documentary, I realize, okay, if these guys, these companies, India is doing with HIV, they can do also with cancer and many diseases, many pathologies. But who saw these documentaries in Ecuador, in Latin America? Maybe me. Few people. You can use Bollywood to do that. You have a huge industry, right? You have to show what is happening here in India, the benefits, the knowledge, the wisdom that you're producing here. And who knows about China irrigation system? I was there in these towers that I felt like in Disneyland. I said, there is one movie, The Martian. I don't know did you see the movie, The Martians, right? And this guy was alone in Mars, and he was producing some vegetables in Mars. So I said, oh my gosh, what is this? This is Mars, This is the technology that is producing here in India. Who knows this? Nobody. I know. And maybe some Indians, they don't know about that, right? So this is the thing that you need to promote all the gifts that the technology is giving to you at the present. I think it's...
Ambassador, talking about Akshay Kumar, you'll be happy to know that he released 4 films last year. Together they made 1,000 crores, that's 10 billion rupees. To begin with, you can have Padman dubbed into Spanish and show it everywhere, and get Bollywood stars, your favorite stars, to shoot films or at least songs. Like one of the Salman Khan movies, some fight sequence with Katrina Kaif and Salman Khan was shot in Havana. Yeah. And tourism started, boosting there and all that. You see, we send a lot of generic medicines worth $1 billion was sent to South America, Latin America last year, and IT companies are working in the continent. 35,000 Latin Americans are being employed by Indian IT companies and all that. And I think you have talked about certain things we didn't even know about. Jalgaon, That's a very interesting kind of example. One of the reasons why we don't know enough about each other is that there is no representation of the Latin American countries' media in India and vice versa. Only when, say, a crisis happens, a coup d'etat happens, or something bad happens, like oil spillage or something, AP, Reuters, and others pick it up, but the good news stories are never told. So I think it's time for India and Latin American countries to exchange journalists, to appoint journalists in both the continents, so that the information is communicated to them, and that will go a long way. And the other thing is, Latin America is 15,355 kilometers away from India. That's a bit of a distance, So, but you can fly, that is true. So you'll have to break the journey either in Dubai or London or France, Paris or wherever. But if the trade expands, it will be very good. And there experts are talking about taking the trade to less than 40 billion now to 100 billion by the year 2025. And our Prime Minister has gone to Brazil and also to Mexico. The Vice President was there, and our President was in Cuba, and so on. And the Brazilian President is coming as the Chief Guest of the Republic Day. Things are happening, but I think they need to be speeded up. As it is, this has dragged a little long, but the last question we will give the opportunity to this gentleman. Then.
So honestly, hi sir, my name is Naveed Marwa. I'm basically a businessman and who's had a very good fortune of visiting Latin America almost more than 100 times. Almost every country of Latin America have been there, every city, and probably I feel it's the best part of the continent. The only thing which I think is missing is the Latin American countries need to show their potential here to us. There is a big population here. We all know that. As a businessman and also as an Indian, we know that we can almost adjust to every country in the world, and we are in Europe, in America, in Australia, in Japan. You go anywhere, and you will see tons and tons of Indians. We don't see very few of them in Latin America.
Only 1.2 million people.
Yeah, I mean, it's negligible. It's negligible. And that also is very few
10
locations.
countries, only 10
Yeah, very few locations. In Argentina, I know there are about 300 families in Argentina. There may be about 1,000 or 2,000 families in Brazil, but it's a very limited. But if the Latin American country, I mean the whole forum can show the potential to us, there will be thousands and thousands of people who want to go and visit there at least. But as you said, you've rightly said, we need to make documentaries, but that has to come from that side as well.
Yes.
So people can see what is happening there. And once that can be established, I'm sure, and of course, the last thing is we need better connections to go there.
Yes,
That is something is definitely required.
absolutely, yes. You were talking about connectivity. You are right, if I want to go home, I think I have to prepare myself for to go there because I need vitamin B, vitamin C, but it's crazy. But we need, to improve the connectivity. We need to improve it. Maybe it should be fantastic to have a flight from Delhi to Delhi to Panama. There's a hub. Maybe Delhi to Miami, because Miami is the best connected connections in all over Latin America. We need to solve the connectivity. And solving the connectivity, more and more opportunities are going to be there. And, it's like the chicken and the egg. What is the first thing that we need to do? I think the first thing that we need to do is, we need to start to write things to film documentaries, especially documentaries, but the people, they don't like to read anymore, especially the millennials. They like to see the TV, to see YouTube, to see the social media. So because this is the way how to do it. It's very, connectivity is there, but I think there are a lot of pending work what we need to develop. But it's like, I used to say to my friends, what is India for you? Or what can be India for Latin America? It's like a treasure. Normally, if the treasure is in front of all the people, it's not a treasure. You need to scratch to find the treasure. This is the thing that I am doing from the last 7 years. With my wife used to say, here in India, we are expats, are diplomats, are foreigners. We need to see only the good things about India. Because we are visitors, we are your guests. So we need to see only the good things. And it's, okay, because you have also, in Latin America also, you have bad things. But we are trying to don't see that. Only good things, good things, good things, good things. And yes, but we need to do many things together and urgent. Because many people in Latin America are dying because of the lack of the medicines. The people are not eating well. The people are not educating well. The people are not, so a lot of opportunities are missed. I have a good example when how the education can change the life of one person. It's like, I was in Mumbai and I needed a bed. And there is in Bandra West, there is this Muslim community that they are carpenters, right? And I was with my assistant Bharat, and I said, Bharat, go and buy a bed. So he went to this market, and he said, sir, you have to come with me. I said, why? Because now I know what is the difference between a person who doesn't speak English and a person who speaks English. I went to visit, it's a Muslim community. I say, okay, this is gonna cost you 10,000 rupees. Okay, this. And the neighbors say, okay, I'm gonna charge you 7,000 rupees. I say, it's the same bed. And I went to ask the guy, okay, why are you charging me 3,000 more rupees for the same, from the same bed? Okay, I'm charging 3,000 rupees because I speak English. So this is the opportunities that we can create in Latin America for these young people, and we can create a new economy, a new trade, and a new vision of the world. Thank you so much.
Excellency, this has been a wonderful session. More than an hour and a half, such a,
1 hour and a half?
Yes,
Oh
and it's
God.
going on Facebook Live and YouTube. I don't know how many thousands of people are going to watch this. I would suggest that I would request you to write a book in Spanish about what India can offer. That would be a great
We're
idea.
planning to
Yeah.
write the book in English first.
Okay, and then translate it or whatever.
And the translation is going to become immediately also.
Yeah. And it's very, very important for exchange of journalists between Latin America and India. In our own little way, whatever we can do, we'll be very happy to host a delegation of journalists from different Latin American countries through the MEA.
MEA is doing something.
Doing something.
Maybe you can ask MEA because they are doing some exchange journalists and, DPA 1, DPA 2, they are very open, right? Because we need to market the solutions in my
Right.
country.
That's absolutely
Right.
absolutely right.
We need to make you say, but the people they used to say, but I didn't know that in India they have this kind of medicines. I didn't know that you have the best technology, agriculture technology is in India. Well, I didn't know that the biggest number of teachers in the world are in India. Nobody knows about that.
Now we should make people know about that.
Yes.
And thank you for coming here. Before I invite Munish to formally propose a vote of thanks, we want to honor you with the honorary membership of the club.
With the promise to use it.
Thank you so much.
And I invite Munish to present a mug, specially designed mug.
Okay.
He will give it to you.
Sir, this is it, inside,
Yes.
it's the same thing, yeah,
Same thing.
thank you.
My two uncles, they are journalists also,
Oh, wonderful. Get them
and
to come.
historians.
Achha.
Yes.
Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please give us first of all, Excellency, it was a pleasure listening to you because I think you're not just an ambassador, but you speak very eloquently and going by how handsome you look, I think you should start your own version of Bollywood from Latin America. That would be my recommendation, but you're a passionate champion of what could be done between Latin America and India, and we've heard very succinctly and very beautifully from you what could be the focus areas and the thrust areas. And you know, on a weekday and in this weather, to get such a turnout is incredible, and I'd like to thank all the friends and members of the Foreign Correspondent Club who showed up to listen to His Excellency and get so much out of you. Thank you very much. Please keep coming back. And I would like to thank a diplomat friend from the Embassy of Peru. And I also want to say that it was after we met, or just around the time we met His Excellency, that we decided that 2019 Christmas at Foreign Correspondents Club was Latino style. So I think we've started that journey together
Yes.
of bringing Latin America and India closer.
Yes. Yes. We did that party, and you know, the music is not 100% similar, but you know, the music is fantastic here. I love that song that is the Picas Padukone and Ravin Kapoor, Hai Jiwani Diwani. Yeah,
Ye
Bartamets.
Diwani hai
Pam,
Diwani.
pam, 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 pam. This is Latin. This is Latin style, you know. It's, yes, we need also to use Bollywood, and you have many tools that we can use.
Absolutely.
You know, and as they say, it takes two to tango. So we are already ready and doing tango together. Thank you again. Please
you.
join us.
I want to thank you, all of you. Thank you for coming, and I hope we can communicate all the opportunities that we can open between Latin America, Ecuador, and India. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Está mi